I would personally love to be with a man who would say to me, we're gonna do this, this, and this, and I just listen to him and trust him. And that is what makes me feel safest. Me having to decide what we're doing, where we're going, when we're organizing what, and having to do all of that, I couldn't do it. It's too stressful for me. I would much rather have a man organize these things and me just fill in the gaps wherever he needs me. And he says to me, okay, you make dinner for us, you clean, you do this, you organize that, you get that. Perfect. I will do anything you tell me to do, but you lead and I follow. That is how a feminine woman feels comfortable, and ultimately that is how a masculine man will feel comfortable too. A message to all the women on the internet who say negative things about men all the time and then expect to actually find a high value good man, you won't. If you actually want to be in a relationship with a man someday, you've got to stop putting down men. You've got to stop saying negative things about men, saying even the most random things that you feel entitled to say, like, most men are ugly, most men don't deserve a pretty girl, you're just bored, that's why you're with him, stop letting him, like, shut up. Like, literally shut up. If you want to be with a good man someday who treats you well, who respects you, start respecting men, because otherwise you will never find him. If you have the mindset that you want to get into a relationship to see how much you can get out of that relationship, you are already entering the relationship for the wrong reasons. You should be going into the relationship thinking, what can I offer this person? What do I have to offer this person? What about me is valuable other than my looks? Like, what about you as a person? What can you offer that person? Because a relationship is not about what you can get out of it. A relationship is about what you can give them and what they can give you. And if both of you enter the relationship thinking, I am here to serve the other person, that relationship is going to work out 10 times better than if you go into it trying to figure out what you can get from them. Because then the second they don't give you what you want, you're gonna leave. Guys, the problem is not men versus women, okay? The problem is people who choose ego, disrespect, selfishness, and getting their own way over love, over connection, and over a bond. We need to stop fighting each other and start understanding that we work best when we unite with each other and when we put each other first and when we fight for each other. Stop being selfish and start understanding that a relationship takes so much effort, but it's so worth it when you guys actually put each other first. Something that surprised me a lot about men is that even though men act tough and they act like they have everything under control and they don't need you, and then when they're upset and they put up these walls and they seem like I'm tough and I'm fine alone, that men are actually just sensitive on the inside, and men are scared of being hurt just as much as women. And men so oftentimes have been neglected, they have been forgotten, they have been hurt, let down, all of these things, and they just don't want to experience it again, so they've learned to put up these walls whenever they're feeling attacked, whenever they're feeling put down, whenever they're feeling unappreciated. And that really just opened my eyes and made me realize that men are just like women. They need love just as much as women. They need respect just as much as women. We're not entirely the same. We do have slightly different needs, but men need to be treated like humans too. Just because a man is acting like he doesn't need your love doesn't mean he doesn't need your love. It's because he's been taught to act that way. So love your man through his pain and be there for him when he really needs you. I know that men are always told to man up, but I honestly want my man to be able to come to me and feel safe with me. I want my man, without me having to say any words, know that he is safe with me no matter what, that I am his safe haven, that I am somewhere he can come to rest, feel safe with, and to know that he will always have someone to back him up. Because that is my role as his woman. If I'm not doing that for my man, then I'm completely not being the right woman for him. I'm completely not fulfilling my role as his woman. That is what I should be doing, and that is what any woman who has a man should be doing as well. Because if he doesn't feel safe with you, who else is he supposed to feel safe with? Here are 3 things that women admire more, that women like more than your good looks. Number 1 is emotional control. When you're able to control yourself emotionally, that is more attractive to a woman than how attractive you are. Number 2 is if you have integrity when no one around you is watching. Who are you behind closed doors? Because that energy will also radiate when you interact with other people. And number 3 is a calm, grounded presence. When you're someone who's quiet but has a grounded presence that doesn't scream insecurity and that doesn't give off energy that is desperate, that is going to be much more attractive to a woman than a pretty face. Follow me for part 2. A woman who truly loves you is never going to make you feel like you're hard to love. It's going to want to make you feel like you're taken care of, make you feel respected, and make you feel like you know that she's thinking about you every single day. A woman who truly loves you is going to ask you what you need and do her best to meet those needs. Not just love her in a way that she wants to love you, but really make sure that she's loving you in a way that you need. And a woman that loves you is never going to make you feel insecure, is never going to make you feel deprioritized, and is never going to make you feel like she doesn't have time or doesn't want to take time for you. If you're with a woman and you're not entirely sure, and you don't know if she's the one for you because she's simply not prioritizing you, she's probably not the one, because the right woman for you would put as much effort into the relationship as you're putting into the relationship. This is going to sound really controversial, especially for social media, but I don't believe believe in the whole concept of red flags because, and I'll tell you why, because everyone on the planet has red flags, you included, okay? You know you have red flags too. So you disqualifying a whole person as a potential partner to date or to build a life with just because they chew in a way that aggravates you or just because they have an opinion on something that you don't completely agree with doesn't necessarily mean that they should be disqualified as a partner, and doesn't necessarily mean that you're any better than them. And that is wrong. You're never going to meet a perfect person. Here are 3 things that you can do as a man in order to attract a woman without saying a word. Number 1, the way you dress. If you dress in baggy clothes, or you dress in too tight clothes, or ripped clothes, or dirty clothes, or smelly clothes, that is going to put a woman off. Dress classy. Invest some money into expensive, good clothes. Invest some money into good, expensive shoes. And I can promise you, when you start to dress good, you're going to start to feel good, and women are going to start noticing you. Number 2, walk like you know where you're going. Don't just walk randomly with like your shoulders hunched and just like looking unsure. When you walk, put your shoulders back, walk slowly, but in a clear direction. And this not only makes you look confident, but it makes you look super attractive to women. I promise you, I'm a woman, so I know. And number 3, be physically strong, or at least look healthy and look like you care about your body and you're taking care of yourself. If you look sick, if you look like you don't take care of your health, that is going to be a turnoff to a woman, because it's going to make you look undisciplined, unmotivated, and like you cannot protect her. So take care of your body, take care of your diet, and your life will get 5 times better. Here are things that women absolutely find super attractive in men. So if you're a man, make sure you pay attention and make sure you follow me for more. Number 1, women love a guy who can keep good eye contact, who looks at her when she's talking to him, who's able to look at her when she's talking to him, who's able to hold good eye contact. That's pretty self-explanatory. Number 2, someone who is polite to everyone around him, which means if you're meeting her family, you're polite. If you're talking to waitstaff, you're polite. You have a politeness about you, which shows that you were raised right, and it shows that you know what you're doing and you're confident in yourself. Number 3, if you have something that you're working on and that you're passionate about, if you're passionate about sports, or you're passionate about your job, or you're passionate about building a business, that is going to show a woman that you're disciplined and that you have something bigger going on in your life. And number 4, if you're a good driver, because if you are, she's going to melt. Not every strong man is toxic. Not every boundary is control. And not every no is abuse. Sometimes a man is just protecting his peace, and he's protecting himself after being hurt over and over and over again and being taken for granted by so many people in his life. Stop calling masculinity toxic when what we're really seeing from masculine men is discipline. Men who set boundaries and keep them are good men, and we need all men to get to this point where they're able to say no and do what is best for them too. If women actually treated their men the way they treat their male celebrities, most relationships would last. Because the thing is this, the woman would then end up respecting her man, the woman would end up respecting the relationship, she would submit to him, she would admire him, she would listen to what he has to say, and so on and so forth. The problem with relationships nowadays, especially with women, is that they refuse to do any of those things for the men they're in a relationship with. They honestly believe that their man is not worthy of respect, he's not worthy of their time, of listening, or of their admiration. And that is what makes the relationships fail. Because no matter how much their men try, in so many relationships, a woman will not respect her man the way that she would respect her male celebrity crush. And unfortunately, that's just the reality of it. You want to know how to know if a woman actually loves you? If she respects your time. A woman who doesn't love you will not respect your time for her and will not respect your time that you need for yourself. A woman who truly loves you will understand that you have priorities in life, such as your work, such as your family, such as your free time, your friends, your side hustles, and she's not going to try and drag you away from that. But on the contrary, a woman who deeply loves you is going to love the time that you guys spend together. She's going to want to spend all of her free time with you, and she's going to be so happy and excited every time she gets to see you. So if you're with a woman who's constantly nagging you, constantly telling you you're not spending enough time with her, and not respecting the fact that you have other things to do with your life, she doesn't really love you that much. Because a woman who does love you wants the best for you and is never going to try and make your life any worse. In fact, she'll only try to make it better. Follow me for part 2. Don't date someone who constantly criticizes you, puts you down, and doesn't support you. I don't care if there's something wrong with you. I don't care if you're overweight. Whatever is wrong with you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't give your partner the right to constantly criticize you, put you down, and tell you that you're not good enough. Be with a person who motivates you, who lifts you up, and who inspires you to do better. You know, casual dating is fun and all until you realize you have trained yourself to not value people or yourself. So don't be surprised if you then cannot build something real and something healthy with someone because you have treated relationships
Like everything is disposable. And that is why I don't believe in the hookup culture. Because if you're just dating around, you're only going to end up hurting yourself and hurting the people around you. And why would you want to do that to yourself or anyone for that matter? Focus on building a meaningful relationship with someone, and I can promise you it'll be so much more rewarding and you'll be so much happier in the long run.
I want you guys to do this exercise for a minute, okay? Close your eyes and think for a minute about the last time when you felt really loved by someone. Think about the time when someone really loved you and told you that they loved you and how that made you feel. And then do the same for the last time you really felt love towards someone, whether it was a parent, whether it was a friend, whether it was a partner, a sibling, a child, whatever. Think about the last time you really felt love for someone and close your eyes and do that for a minute. Now, which one feels better? I would almost argue that the feeling of loving someone is better, it's more rewarding, it's more fulfilling than the feeling of being loved. So remember that next time you feel bad about sacrificing something for someone else. When you're sacrificing your time, your energy, and your efforts for someone out of love, you shouldn't have this thought in the back of your mind that you might be missing out on something. You shouldn't have this thought in the back of your mind that they might hurt you, that it might not be worth it. Because I can promise you something, your life is not about you. You are meant to be here on this planet to interact with other people. That is why we are social. You are meant to be here to not just live for yourself, but to live for the people around you. And if you're doing that truly, and you are taking care of the people around you, you are loving the people around you, I can promise you your life is going to be 10 times more fulfilling than if you were only living it for yourself, with the constant barriers up, with constant fears up, and with worries that I need to take care of myself first and blah, blah, blah. Your life is not about you, sweetheart. Your life is about everyone around you. And remember that the feeling of taking care of someone and loving someone is more powerful and more rewarding than the feeling of them doing that for you.
If you're only attracting things that are bad for you, the likely problem is you, because it probably means that you have low self-esteem and you have low self-value. The more healed you become as a person, the more your self-esteem is going to rise and the less you're going to tolerate things that are bad for you in your life. If you're only attracting bad partners, if you are constantly attracting chaos, if you're constantly attracting problems, and you feel safe and secure in chaos and in problems, you are innerly not healed and you have inner trauma going on. Heal yourself first, work on yourself first, because the more that you like yourself, the less you're going to tolerate negative, miserable, and bad people, whether it's a partner, whether it's a friend, or whether it's someone who you want to have in your life. Don't attract negative things and then keep them there, because that will only hinder your progress. A high-value woman to you is never going to be a woman who's competing with you, who's trying to be as good as you at everything, who's trying to do better than you at certain things, and who's trying to always make it a point that she is succeeding at something that you're not. A high-value woman to you is going to be someone who brings you peace, who brings you stability, who brings you joy and happiness, and who brings you softness, because you as a man have so many things that you're struggling with every single day. You have so many things that are stressing you out, and you just want a place where you can feel at home and where you can feel peaceful. And for most men, the only place that they can get that is from their woman. So don't ever settle for a woman who brings you chaos instead of peace. Make sure you pursue a relationship with a woman who brings you peace, who wants to bring you more peace, who wants to bring you joy, and wants to make your life better, not worse.
I would personally love to be with a man who would say to me, we're gonna do this, this, and this, and I just listen to him and trust him. And that is what makes me feel safest. Me having to decide what we're doing, where we're going, when we're organizing what, and having to do all of that, I couldn't do it. It's too stressful for me. I would much rather have a man organize these things and me just fill in the gaps wherever he needs me. And he says to me, okay, you make dinner for us, you clean, you do this, you organize that, you get that. Perfect. I will do anything you tell me to do, but you lead and I follow. That is how a feminine woman feels comfortable, and ultimately that is how a masculine man will feel comfortable too. The right woman will sit with you and doom scroll on her phone and do nothing and just be happy to be in your presence. That's how you know you found the right woman. If your woman is just happy to be with you, doing nothing or doing absolutely whatever, and she tells you she's happy because she gets to spend time with you, that is when you know you found the right woman. Because I can promise you, a woman who loves you and cares about you isn't gonna need a bunch of fancy things to be happy. She's just gonna wanna be with you and be happy with you and be at peace with you, and that's it. If she's like that, you know you found the one, because she is going to be happy just doing whatever with you. Isn't it funny how men are always labeled for being misogynistic whenever they stand up for themselves? When I go on social media and I open my Instagram and I'm just like, let me see what's on here today, I see 90% of women say something negative about men, and only about 2% of men, and it's always the same men, say negative things about women. Men don't hate women the same way women hate men. Yes, yet I never hear the word misandry come out anywhere. I only ever hear misogyny, misogyny, misogyny. Just because women are so vocal doesn't mean they have to lie and exaggerate on everything. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, but all the women out there saying that men and women should be getting equal pay are not understanding why that is so far from the truth. And the reason why it's so far from the truth is because men are faster, men are stronger, men are more able of working longer hours, men are more reliable, men can do harder labor in general, and men have a lot more abilities of doing hard jobs that women cannot do. Men are the ones working in the oil rigs, men are the ones collecting your trash, men are the ones working in the cold snow, building construction, fixing roads, whatever else. Men are the ones who are usually police officers. Men are the ones who are usually firefighters, doing all of these dangerous jobs that most women do not want to and cannot even do. So the pay gap is not something that is unfair. It's there for a reason because men risk their lives so much more than women do. And that is not something we need to fight about. That is just reality. That is the way it is. Can we learn to accept it? Move on and understand that it is the way it is for a reason and leave men be. Let's stop attacking men for everything all the time. Jeez. Men, here are 5 signs to know if the woman that you're investing into is actually genuine and worth your time. Number 1 is she's proud of you in public, not just in private. So in public, she holds your arm. She lets other people know that she is yours. Number 2 is she doesn't play jealousy games, but she reassures you and she knows that you are there for her just as much as she is there for you. Number 3, she respects your time and doesn't cause extra drama to test you or to make you feel uncomfortable or bad for not spending enough time with her sometimes. Number 4, invest in you, not just in what you give her. Okay, that's a big difference. You got to remember this. And number 5, she wants to build something with you, not compare herself to you, not compare other people to you, actually create a life with you that both of you love. Follow me for part 2. Because if I'm in a relationship, I don't want my female friends influencing me in a bad way, who will talk badly about my partner, who will advise me to do things that are bad for my relationship. And this should be the same for your woman too. If you as a man have a woman in your life who you're dating or married to, and she has a bunch of female friends who are critiquing your relationship, who are telling her what to do, who are giving her negative advice towards your relationship, she should not be friends with people who are saying negative things about your relationship. And if she doesn't want to take your advice and she still wants to be friends with these people, she might not be the woman for you. Because quite frankly, if she's not willing to ditch a friend over the relationship, yeah. The absolute craziest thing to me is that women actually believe that they are worthy of love, and men are taught to believe that they have to earn love. And then we're surprised as a society when mediocre looking and mediocre women at best reject men who are, first of all, on their level, or worse, even way out of their league, because women are taught to believe that they deserve love regardless, that they don't have to prove themselves the way men do, and that they are worthy of having someone to take care of them and do things for them no matter what. Which is just absolutely wrong. We as a society have to start teaching our women that they have to bring things to the table as well, which include peace, respect, loyalty, dignity, and adoration for their man. If you as a woman are not doing those things for your man, you do not deserve to be with him, no matter how great he is, no matter how great you are. Because quite frankly, your man doesn't care about the amount of money you make. Your man cares about the amount of peace you bring to his life. And if you're not bringing any peace to his life and you're just chaos, he's not going to want to be with you. Unpopular opinion, but you are not perfect as you are. And if you get into a relationship with someone and you expect to stay the same while that person is expected from you to change in order to fit your mold and your criteria of what they want to look like or what they're supposed to look like to you, then that is wrong. Because the person that you are going to be with is not supposed to accept you for who you are. Because what if you're a mess? You might have anger issues, you might have abandonment issues, rudeness issues, you might not be affectionate, and those are all things that aren't okay to bring into a relationship and then leave without any attendance and without any work. If you get into a relationship, it's okay to have problems. We all have problems. But it is not okay to then be expected to keep those problems and to stay the same while you expect your partner to meet your needs and wants and think that you're just perfect. Because you're not. So stop this whole ideal of my partner's supposed to accept me for who I am, because I can promise you, you are not perfect. And there are things that you need to work on, just as they're going to need to work on. And if you have this idea in your mind that you're perfect the way you are and they're not, then you're probably the problem.